like that. I don't know my um is it Hindu? Hindu gods too much, whatever, you know. Not a mean religion. It's all the same thing. But just look at the cool shit, you know what I'm talking about? Got all the knives coming out, you know. Every religion got their cool shit, you know what I'm saying? Templars, Malcolm X, you know, Shiva, you know, everything. Samurai, yeah. But try another game today. Trying to guess what that is. The knives like that. I have no idea. You try to, you know, get more, get, culture. What do you call it? Culturified. What is? I don't even know the term. You left. I leave Jersey. I don't even know what the term is. No, I did this one culture out here, only the Asian culture. So it's just, and they think it's like all different cultures, and so and now you want to be more universal, right? It's weird because you got like this gaslight, and you're like, a lot of South Asians. They're like, well, these Puerto Ricans, they're dark from this, that, and the other, and then here I am being native. I'm dark for having native skin. And they're like, well, we look similar, so we'll just say to other people we're dark for the same reason. I was like, well, you can't really do that. That's from another continent. I'm talking about. It's just like, and people believe that. It's like you're talking about usurping someone else's culture, but you are taking ours. You're taking our Latino, um, our identity. Especially the few, and it's from the smallest group of people within Latino population, the native Latinos. And of course, you run against so few of them. They just, they don't. You run into an endless amount of people that don't know anything about, native Latinos. Oh, here I ran into a rare one, and everybody wants to state that, and they're not. It takes away from us. When their blood is from Asia, South Asia. That's the Asian continent, the United States continent. What is up, Belta boy, Beta boy, and Taskuska color? I can't pronounce that. I massacred that. Yeah, I'm gonna call myself Omega Spawn. How you doing? Who's this? This Beta boy? What is up? I like your name. I mean, like, that's what you gotta do too. Like, you get in an argument, you'd be like, "Who you think you are? Don't you know you're talking to Beta boy? What's up, man?" Say, I know. It's like, yeah, I know, right? It's like, shit, man. Exactly, exactly, man. Shit. See, Oh, cool, cool. Okay. Okay. I'm converging on him. Okay, I'm fucked. I'm not. Oh shit. I'm not. Don't. I have a gold. I have a gold 301. I have a gold 301. He's gonna take it. He's gonna take it. Be careful. Shoot him. Shoot him. Bonfire. Take my 301. Loot my box. Loot his box. He also has a purple shield. There's two of them. Right behind you. Going to my death box. Okay. I got it. All right. I got a purple right here. All right. I'll give you ammo in a second. I'm at 45. Caustic and a. I think so. Let's try for 31. I got a purple. Okay, no, not that. Where can I drop this? Dropping my ult. All right, we gotta go. Okay. Gotta get a backpack. Yeah. I gotta coming up towards you. Thank you. Think so. I need heals, but I'm okay. I don't know. I took out one. I think he took out another. I saw two drop. Shit, I need ammo. Oh, a second, I'll grab it. I got it. And we got 6 squads, 14 people left. You in college? All right. All right. All right. On my way. Oh, okay. Dropping my ult over here. What does that do? A reactive mask. What does that do? Oh, you mean like a camo? Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, I got someone behind me. Okay, no, that's you. Okay, ooh. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, the Mastiff. I thought you said reactive. My fault. I had bad hearing here. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, oh man, death boxes for days. It's up. Backpack, hell yeah. Okay, hold up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I got my ult in about half a second. Yeah, it's charge rifle. Let me drop my ult. I'm at 89, 90. Come back in here. 97, 98. We got. Okay. Take this. All right, cool, cool. All right. Fuck! I was just. Oh my god! Sorry about that. I thought I had backup behind me. I played a little bit too. Damn it. Fuck. You want to try that again? Color. Yes. Fuck. Yes, it was the best game of my life. Don't give me fucking things. Who's on? We'll do Brew. No, Brew actually accepted my friend's request. Tell you the truth, you meet like one decent dude for every 9 girls. I mean, it's weird. It's like in reverse. You know what I'm saying? All the girls are chill, but then when I speak to like my white friends, it's like the reverse. I'm talking about all the white people they meet, or the guys they meet, and sometimes even like the black and Latinos they meet. I'm talking about all the dudes. 80, 90% of them cool, and then always get a bitchy girl, whatever. But for me, it's the reverse. I have, like I said, I have this backwards fucking life, man. I meet 9 cool girls and one decent dude. And of course, the dude will be like, "Oh, well, you're gay." I'm not. I'm straight. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And then with agents, it's like just a handful of either one. I'm talking about? It's just there's like no entry into it. But I'm talking about like normal society in America. Actually, I really want this skin. I keep seeing it. How long is it up for? I have 85. Battle Pass. Let's take a look at it. Episode, no. Where does it show my triple? Where's Tanks when you need it? He knows everything. Harp, okay, Harper. Oh, this is. Oh, that's pink. I didn't really. It's sort of like it glosses you over. It doesn't look like a pink. It looks like something else, but I guess it draws you in. But the last skin was black, pink, and purple. So, I mean, that's the problem. Like, people want you to respond to certain things. And when I was growing up, I could definitely see they associate something what they want and try to apply it to you all the time. Because I guess it convinces their friends in their community. And here you are trying to state, really what you are because you have to be the determining factor of who you are, right? But it was nice for the people that picked on those nuances of who you are and use it to make a bond with you. And you always want to go back to those instances when that was the case. I'm not saying that happened all the time. But that's how it is. Like, shh, Jedi mind trick. This is what you are. That's not how it works. Itchy Wang, what is up? Jimbo Baggin. Where we going? Where we going? Leaf. It's not. Let's go over here. Safe. Anywhere? Too many people are gonna drop over there. I'm gonna go my safe bet over here. One perpendicular. We're gonna drop in 3, 2, 1. Dropping. Okay, we got one squad coming in. I could go inside the door if you want. Okay, they're gonna beat us. Fuck. Going to the opposite side of the door. Fuck. Good knowing you, Itchy Wang. You'd be sorely missed. And Jimbo Baggins. Baggin. But I think it's the mentality over here too that people gamble. Like, what is the best thing to do? Like, let's give Supreme like dog water, gaslight, like this, and this, or whatever, and associate with people that we want to say he associates, whatever. And it's not even in reality. But I think that's where they messed up because they made assumptions that can never happen in reality and applied it to me. Then people took a look at it and be like, that's just not reality. You know what I'm talking about? And I think the frustration there is because now they know these things are detrimental to America. And when you gaslight at this level, obviously you could get um, this coalition of people that could bring down the whole government, which is disastrous because they don't even compromise even a consensus of any one group. They're just extreme outliers. And we want to go on demagoguery. And but when you're young, you think using demagoguery and exciting, triggering, very emotional things to have people act on lies is intelligence, is brilliance, because they themselves don't know what the true agenda is, and you don't want them to know the true agenda. And of course, here the plurality of the demographic is Asian, so it's going to be Asian causes, and they're going to pull on an external force, external nation like China, to have more support. And I think these things were already discovered, like even before social media, when I was approached by the federal government. It's just like, you have Italians that are going to pull from Sicily. You have Irish are going to pull from Ireland, the IRA. And you don't want to have these people in the military. But here you are, as you grow up, you're going to pull from these areas, you're native. So it's going to be from the heartland of America. And so that was already and like instilled. And you had Puerto Ricans, instilling more nativism and Latino. And I'm very blessed that Puerto Ricans before me reached out to, I guess, what essentially a certain part of Texas where there's a lot of where natives were basically held out for a long time that reached out to Puerto Rico or that emigrated Puerto Rico and vice versa. And lo and behold, that's where I'm from. And my family's been from there, Puerto Rican. And so I'm very grateful that intermarriages and everything that is done. So that, so they know that's where I'm going to reach out to. And of course, I'm going to have this affinity to reach out to other Latinos. By and large, right there, it'd be Mexico, that community. And, black community, knowing because my skin color, I'll defend, civil rights or whatever. And that's definitely true. So, all who I am was within inside of America. And I think the federal government dealing with organized crime do these things. And I guess basically they want a reason for me not to like America, so they could incarcerate you. And I was like, well, you just make that term, and like, don't give them a reason to incarcerate you. If they think you're an animal, don't like an animal. Don't, what I'm talking about? They want to treat you like one, so don't give them any reason to even think about it, even have that come up in their head. And so, I guess when you're 16, 17, it's easier said than done, but you gradually make this turn. You join the military. But, it just, and then when you get older, you realize it is true. It's just like, I'm not saying they have this ultimate loyalty to China, but you see they draw on it to an extent that outweighs a polarism which is America, and that is detrimental. And you can't do that because on a macro level, it is basically a de facto allegiance to it, and it doesn't prosper this environment of um, I want to say it's a political viewpoint, but I think it's the best way to have an effective society that we pull on from every culture. You want to put on the perception that you're dealing with a lot of different cultures, but you're leading heavily because it becomes the norm to only deal with a certain demographic and accentuates that very almost a segregating of races that you have native and Asian, and they're very intermixed or whatever, and it comes now the norm to be like two-faced, be like, okay, well, I could say that I'm native, but it's really Asian, and still hate native people. And now I come in, I'm not Asian and I'm not Polynesian. I'm native. So they don't know how to react because they can't pull the same bullshit lies. And I'm more native than a lot of these people. Well, 99% of everybody, I'm talking about. And it's all the Asian that say they're Polynesian. And now the Polynesian looking at me and they can relate, who are like just a quarter or those type of people, quarter or more, right? And like they're nodding, whatever. Some of them, it depends. It's not like a definite thing, You don't take anything as, but you could definitely get a feel for it, And you could see the dichotomy or whatever. And I just don't play with it. I can't. I can't play those roles that a Polynesian can because they're interrelated with some Asians. I'm not. So I'm not going to play it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, you're not me. You don't think like me. You don't talk like me. And I'm going to call it out for what it is. And now you have to attack my character. I'm like, whatever. I don't need to deal with you. I got my own community, you know what I'm saying? That supports me. So you not supporting me is not, to you, that's catastrophic if these Asians don't support you. And I'm supposed to feel like that, but I'm not Asian. So it doesn't affect me like that. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm talking about like social issues on a very personal level. And I was just like, well, I don't think how does that really benefit but just me, and I guess we're all I guess I have to take care of myself before I could take care of other people. But I guess um think about other people and then I guess just thinking about myself. I mean, but the thing is like it all comes down to the things that matter. These things are trivial. These behaviorisms or whatever. I could do this, I could do that, but what gives you a lot of leeway is just being successful in its own right. You applying your skills and just being successful. And unfortunately, I don't want to break it down to even into simpler terms and into something that it's not or whatever, but it's how much money you bring in. And you have to bring in a certain amount of money to have more people think that you're successful or listen to who you are or whatever, or to have, you know, and I'm not going to get into the complexities of whatever it is, So I wouldn't say a certain lifestyle, but we live in a capitalist money-based system, and there is a certain amount of income that you need to have, and I think it's somewhere, depending how you spend it. I'm going to guess. I know it's depending where you are in America, definitely above $500 a day. But then it goes time and effort to actually spend it. So $300 to $500 a day, give or take. That you have all the other bills and necessities taken care of about that. So that's about 100,000 to about 200,000 a year, about 150,000 a year. We'll say that at the bare minimum. And that basically makes there is to be no argument that you are successful. You eliminate that argument. Um, so I definitely want to reach that threshold, and then from there I build myself. But okay, what I was getting at was just the tail end of my other argument. Looking at the world, what can I contribute? Because you want to contribute to something bigger than yourself, and I want to talk about the war, but the thing is, like, you get these logical arguments that could be very detrimental, and you could take the same amount of truthful information, and it could be wrong because you're not getting the right information, or you could have the same information as someone else, and it could still be wrong. And I just don't want to do that, and it's very deadly. And that's why you always have to have a consensus of people, of brilliant minds taking it. And then you'll have these almost these constants of constantly going at this problem, attacking this problem, working this problem, be like, okay, that's probably what's going to happen. But we already see that that could be a probability over there, that China entering the war or them, when they're fully mobilized, applying pressure, heavy pressure on Ukraine, I mean, invading Ukraine, they could easily walk into another country where there would be zero to no shots fired, take all their equipment, regime change it, and use that population and attack Ukraine with it. I'm talking about those type of things. Like, is that a possibility? Well, it seems like it could be. I'm talking. It's not the outside the realm of, you know, definitely it seems within, reason. I mean, it's a certain logical thing. Do you want to base everything on it? No, you don't want to base nothing on a lot of this stuff, but you do want to take it into account and put it into your your calculations, so to speak. Your, put it on the table as, something to consider. So my point is, even though you have all the right information, but the problem with the what we have in America is the gaslight, is that this is what happens when you have all the right information. This is what happens when you have all these brilliant minds and not using logical reasoning or whatever, and you can still come up with the wrong answer, But like, oh, it's just then you got this ardent liars and people just constantly lie or whatever, and it's not even a conversation. So that just these rails it. So they're not even being part of civilization when they gaslight. They really are not. It's not being that when you do that, it's just gaslight. That's why I always want to find out these people that want to be part of America, that to the best and fullest, be more. I'm not saying everybody's perfect or whatever, but it's just me myself, because I need to become that too more. I need to absorb that more, I'm talking about, because that makes me a better person. And it's like sort of a chicken and egg thing. You need that become better, but you have to give that out to get that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like and being dark, I'm very self-conscious of it or whatever. And that's where a lot of it being naive and gullible plays into it, because I give it out and I don't always get that back. I get sadism back sometimes because he's a dumb moron or whatever. Get some more coffee. But how does that play into the world things? Getting off on a tangent. I don't want to give out bad information is my point. Even though it's based on a logic and I think it's true, and but I'm very hesitant to do so. But one thing I know for certain is that we need to deal with people that are going to conversate back with us. So our economies could only be interlinked with a dynamically linked to countries that adhere to democracy. And we have to identify when they don't, like when Russia switched from democracy to when it didn't. If we caught on to Russia not being a democracy earlier on, we wouldn't be in this problem. When it went from, and that was right around, it was 1999. And we got to make democracies closer to home. Like, look at Mexico when that switched to democracy. Look at their GNP when they actually became a real functioning democracy, and it's still very. It's not as stable as it needs to be. It has these tribal, regional, what affects to. I wouldn't say civil war, but near civil war of these cartels that are just basically in effect. I hate to say it, I'm Native American, but like these native tribes that are in rebellion. So they have to seek non-criminal activities to support their communities. And we need to give them a few years to be like, look, we're going to crack down on the most violent of you, whatever. You got to seek legitimate businesses. Because it's going to come a point where us as Americans are going to have to de-arm those people. So we just remove their ability to fight and force them to integrate into Mexico the right way. And of course, Americans be like, oh, we should kill them all and, arrest them all and everything else like that. I mean, yeah, but then, the other people just prop up. The only way to deal with it is to tell them there's better ways to support your community, better ways to get money, and we're gonna legalize cocaine, and and we're gonna tax the fucking shit out of it, you know, legalize all those drugs and tax the living shit out of it, and be like, can you handle taking cocaine and your job, whatever? You gotta do both, talking about if you're gonna do a little coke on the side, whatever, you gotta handle your fucking job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm very anti-drug, but I'm more anti-violence. And to make Mexico a more efficient economy, you got to do that. You got to de-arm these cartels because they're bringing down our society and they're bringing down the Mexican society, making it less efficient productivity than it can be. And there's better ways to support their communities, and it's right on a border. And we need to make Cuba a democracy. That's my point. We gotta aggressively. My point is, we gotta be very aggressive making these democracies that we could deal with. We can't have a communist state, a huge communist state, right off our shores. I'm gonna get some more coffee. So yeah, giving back to the whole cartels thing, it's just like there's just no one answer. I mean, you get Americans that are not, that are hardcore, whatever, not warm pussies to open up businesses all up in cartel regions and so whatever. So they have places to work. So it could be, so there's industry there. So it could be self-supportive, you know, they're backed by, our, you know, by our law enforcement. And you arrest, and do what you need to for the most violent people. Um, and then that will give you leverage after you do that, after you kill and arrest people, then you could start making, look, you need to go and make legitimate businesses now. I'm talking about you, what I'm saying? We're going to disarm you. We probably have to do almost a succession, continuing disarmament of them. So you do it once, boom, you get them real good. I'm talking about? They're all disorganized, but look, you need to get into legitimate businesses. I'm talking about? And at the same time, that's when you legalize cocaine and all these other things, and you tax the living fuck out of it. And they already have businesses right there because we're not pussies. We can handle it. We're not afraid of cartels and shit like that. And we'll have like security all up and around, protecting our American workers and our Mexican workers, and you know, from cartels. Um, Private security contractors and everything. But it'd be more integration with Mexico uh, law enforcement. It would almost be like New Jersey, New York Port Authority, that type of integration. It's the only way to go about it. So, to do this very political, and you want else to have them political power, talking about so they could speak and they can make laws and they could do govern themselves, whatever, not protect illegal activity, but their community that addresses their needs so they have representation. And everybody instantly corrupts it. I'm talking about. So yes, they need political power. Without a doubt. They need to leave that way of life of criminal activity and be incorporated into a world political system into Mexico. And need to be de-armed. And yes, they're not going to listen to any of that shit unless they get bloodied a little bit. But that's not going to do anything. But the only thing is an arm mentality. That's the only way to go about it. Keep resting, keep killing them, keep doing this, keep doing. It's not going to do much shit. You got to do everything. And then what you get, the end result, the bigger picture, is a more effective partner in Mexico, is a stronger Mexico economy. When we have that, we have a stronger America. And our supply lines be closer. That's what I'm getting at. Our supply lines, we have more productivity in our GDP. We've got to make sure Canada and Mexico are strong. And then, if everybody wants in the real border, honestly, I know it's heavily biased because I'm dark skinned and people think that I'm Mayan or whatever, and I'm thousands of miles north of that. And it's really, but I really have this affinity towards other Latinos or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, who I am as a person is north of the border. Not just like, oh well, no, my people are north of the border. My race is north of the border. My race is and if you want to argue is the border regions of Mexico and I was about to say New York and Texas, the Apache, the Comanche, the Navajo, and everything else like that. So you could technically say it's, the Comanche went back and forth or whatever, and the Apache went back and forth. I get that. I definitely understand if you want to say Mexican this, that, and the other. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, where is my loyalty is going to be with those tribals, their tribal region all along there in those tribes, you know. So I know it's heavily biased to say that the real border should be at the edge of Mexico, but it's the reason why it's because it's so short going into Central America. We could build a very strong wall, and Mexico be act as that buffer, and then when we stabilize Mexico, we could work on the next country just south of Mexico and make that a strong democracy, and we could move that wall down one country, make that a stable democracy, and move that border, that strong wall down or whatever, and then it's feasible. You can't build a 5,000 mile, a 5,000 whatever wall. That's insane. The only way to do that is get rid of the cartels, dude. Not the people, not those different tribes of those regions, not the different. Because what it is, Mexico is a hugely diverse country. I mean, if you look at Mexico, they consider themselves very Spaniard, very not indigenous. They don't like indigenous people. They consider themselves very white people. And to Americans, they don't realize that. I'm too dark. So I'm too much of a native to them. But don't get me wrong, I have a sadistic joy knowing that what they look up to is Americans, that more Americans respect me, white Americans, because I would give everything for my country. And my main gripe is I wished America loved me as much as I loved her. And beyond that, that's what I always bitch about. And how do I get that? How do I make it a better country the right way? But and of course, the associate thing. Well, they're looking for reasons for other Americans not to like me because of my race, my color, and that's the constant battle. That's called civil rights, right? But but that being said, I have a sadistic joy of when they find out that someone of color, someone they look down on, these light skinned Mexicans realize they can never have what I have, and I have a very it's not and shouldn't state it. It's kind of fucked up, but yeah, rub it in their face. But to them, it's just like, oh well, other Mexicans would accept. No, they want to be that white person. And hanging out with very brilliant Latinos, Puerto Ricans, my black friends. Garnish respect the right way. Okay, well, I was getting back at. I went way off on a tangent. How does this help the world? Um, I was just briefly talking about the cartels. That's not what I was getting on. Just a side thought or whatever, dealt with whatever. You move on to the next problem. People, what it is, I think when people are violent, they just try to overcomplicate these things. Like it's hard to deal with whatever it is. We have dealt with it before. You can deal with it. I'm talking about, and there's wrong ways to deal with it. So that's the right way to deal with it. But to deal with it takes, you have to constantly be in contact with Mexico. Okay, crashed. I'm gonna restart this. It's gonna crash in a few seconds. OBS. I'll restart it.